All right. Look, it's BS Friday, and Mark Bare Naked Willie shaved his beard and put a hat on today, and not his typical hat. Hey, everybody, listen, we're having a little bit of showmanship happening today because we had two of our guests are having some issues logging in with their travels, but that's okay. We got the CEO of SIGA North America on the show with us today. What is happening, Etienne Gubler?
Well, good afternoon or good morning, depending where you are. To everyone, thanks, Dave, for having me on the show today. I got the call about 10 minutes ago, so you seem a little bit more casual than usual, but I'm excited. I'm really happy to be back, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. I think we're going to cover some super exciting topics. And what's happening? I'm right now here in Minnesota. I'm currently spending a day in our back office and had a wonderful morning so far. How are you?
in the back office. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. As a matter of fact, I'm loving life. I'm down in Charleston, South Carolina. We're heading to Atlanta, and then we're heading to Nashville, and then back to Atlanta, and then back to Florida. So, as always, we're on the Build It Better Road Show and having fun doing it. So, I think having you fill in today last minute, thank you very much. And I'm sure our guests out there appreciate it as well. So, why don't we give Etienne a big round of applause for tuning in today, because it's Etienne, and he makes everybody happy. And he's one of the hardest working CEOs out there that really cares about not only his people, but his product as well. So let's hop into this a little bit, Etienne. I'm going to start off here with a little bit of a monologue. Often those looking to build, and first start dreaming about the perfect home, the perfect office. They start thinking about hardwood floors or a laundry room that is as beautiful as it is functional, or maybe it's a finished basement, tricked out garage, or primary suite with a spa-like bathroom. But let's be real, Etienne. Come on, let's be real. Those things look nice, feel good, but they don't really contribute to the health and wellness of your new home. The ones where your kids might be crawling around on the bedroom floor, distance learning, or doing some preteen socializing in the basement away from their parents, glaring at their eyeballs. But Etienne, seriously, what are the important things that people should really consider before they build their dream home? And this is what we're going to talk about right now. So, Etienne, I'm an air boss. I went through the Etienne SIGA training, and by golly, I can't look at an air barrier, house wraps. I can't look at any of it ever again the same. My mind has been twisted, demented, and put back straight the way it should be. You've been living and breathing this stuff, growing the North American market faster than probably any other company could grow it. Tell us what's so important about everything I just said and what the homeowner should be looking at.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dave. I think often with things we don't see, we don't know so much about them, right? It's kind of more of an afterthought. From a homeowner's perspective, the envelope is actually crucial. Why? Well, because there are three elements that are truly affected that you will feel sometimes immediately, and others you feel mid and long term. So airtightness in your house will give you three things. It will help you with managing your indoor air quality, which is an important factor for the health. Another factor is it helps you with your energy bills. So it really affects the costs you spend on a monthly and then yearly basis to operate your home. And the last factor, or another factor, we have health, we have the money aspect, and then the last one is comfort. Think about older houses when they are drafty. It's not comfortable. It's just, I always say it like this. You want to absolutely use every single square foot of your house to the maximum. Don't have these no-go zones, which could be near a window, or you kind of mentioned if the basement isn't comfortable, or just any rooms aren't comfortable. That's not what it should be, because you pay for every single square foot, and you should be able to use it, right? So that's why homeowners should really think about that. Sometimes when you buy a house, we speak about, oh, the house needs to have good bones. So that's kind of a saying that's already out there. So if we are talking about the air tightness, think about it as one of these bones that you need to have in a body. A body needs a lot of bones. That's one, and it's an important one, right?
Well, you know what? It's super important. Let's look at the cost. I want to go to the middle one because it's so relevant today. The cost of the savings, the financial aspect of what's happening with inflation that's going through the roof right now. Gas prices. I just filled up a motorhome. I am the worst carbon footprint person in the world right now. But it's through the roof. And I think the people that have embraced this early on are going to feel it, but they're not going to feel it like the rest of us that are really stuck on a lot of the fossil fuel and the air leakage and what's happening in the house. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. So I think often when I talk to homeowners or just architects or builders, like everyone, and we're talking about return on investment, that's important. You have to invest upfront to make a house more energy efficient.
Yeah.
How do you do this? You need more insulation. You have to make it airtight. You probably have to upgrade your windows, get better windows. That costs upfront. You have
Right.
immediate savings by having less mechanicals that you have to put in, or smaller mechanicals. And then very important, you have less operational costs. And right now is a good example. Unfortunately, our fossil fuel prices are exploding right now, and people feel that. You feel it at the pump,
Yeah.
but people who operate their homes with these natural resources will feel that too. Gas isn't getting cheaper. And so as of today, I would still say, even with the price increases, energy is still too cheap to really make an argument to have a very, very aggressive approach. A lot of the people that we talk to, they upgrade their home not primarily because it makes immediate financial sense. Often they do it because they value comfort, or they believe in the kind of the urgency to fight climate change by reducing their carbon footprint. So there are different motivators, but I think the financial motivator will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think, currently with our energy prices, what we are not paying is the economical impact of those, right? If you would really have to pay for the damage it creates as well, energy should probably be like 3-4 times what it is today, but that would kill the economy. So you can't really do that either. All I'm saying is, you are well advised to reduce the amount of energy you need, regardless of your energy source, and that can be done by building airtight and energy efficient.
It's funny. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at one of the comments. Peter Molinar, this presentation is on tape. He says he's also sticking around for the whole presentation. What's happening, Peter? Hey, we got Adam White joining us as well. Hey, Sean McStay. You don't know Sean McStay, do you? Etienne, do you know that guy, Sean McStay?
Have you ever heard of him? Absolutely familiar with Sean McStay. Yeah, we work together. Amazing. By the way, just a little plug-in. He now has a new podcast. Fantastic podcast. He's focusing a lot of management and leadership. So yeah, he had an amazing guest, former chief human resources from LinkedIn, like really, really cool. So if you haven't checked Sean out, he made a little bit of a shift, but fantastic host. So anyways, little plug in for Sean.
Good to see you, Sean. Good to see you, Sean. Yeah, I know Sean. I'm teasing. George Ryman's joining us as well. Good to see you, George. 70 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. It's cold and rainy here, but it's not Minneapolis cold. It's South Carolina cold, like 50s, 60s. All right, Etienne. When we talk about inflation, when we talk about what's happening, with fossil fuels, we talk about COVID. From your perspective, and being on the side of the world that is about building it better, building it healthier, have you seen since the beginning of COVID till now? Because I think what's happening financially is even going to drive it home even further for people to want to build better, build healthier, and save money. Same way with offsite construction. Have you seen an uptick in your business since COVID has started and where it's headed right now? Is it here to stay?
So we have definitely seen an uptick in our business. I remember in March 2020, shut down, a lot of question marks from many people in the industry, weren't sure what's going to happen. Well, what happened was a huge construction boom, because a lot of people realized, hey, if I'm kind of locked at home, I'd rather be locked in a single family home somewhere, or, I don't want to be in my big apartment with everyone else. And a lot of additions started to happening because we all started to work from home, do schools at home. So I think really from a consumer side, there has been a huge demand for the construction industry. So I probably contributed more to a shift there. With COVID, of course, indoor air quality became a topic because you start to think about, well, what am I circulating within my building? Is this air filtered? What kind of filtration system do I have? And here is the truth. You need an airtight envelope to start with in order to filter your air. I make a simple example. Think about the wildfires. That means you have a terrible air quality outside. Now, if you don't separate the interior air quality from the exterior air quality with a dedicated air barrier, there is no chance you can avoid this air from passing through your walls, through your roof, through the foundation, through kind of cracks, not cracks in the foundation, but foundation connections. You have to separate first, so then that you can control your indoor air quality.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, listen, I got a surprise guest. Just popped in.
Let's go.
Looks like I think he's eating peanuts or something. he's chewing on something.
You might be at a ball game. Oh, look at this.
Oh, no. There he is. There he is. In the passenger seat. I mean, this guy's got it made. He's always in the passenger seat. What's happening, Mark? Uh-oh. Frozen up. I can't hear him. Can you hear him, Etienne?
I cannot, no.
Yeah. Hey, work on that audio. Check your audio settings, brother. I don't know. Can't hear you. Look at how he's frozen. We're all going to pick on Mark. Hey, listen, try and mess with your audio. I'll try you back in just a few moments. So, so Mark's traveling. He had meetings run over. Our Wally Walls guest, same thing today. We had some ups and downs, what's going on. So we switched up the show. So for those of you that signed up for the event, we're expecting to see about Wally Walls. Well, guess what? You got something even better. You got Etienne Gubler from SIGA North America. SIGA. He is the CEO of North America, and a bright star that is up and coming in this industry. And I like to say that with all sincerity. All right, Etienne. So we're going to give Mark one more try here, see if he has it figured out. Mark, you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you want to give it a try. Yep, get a thumbs up. All right, how about now, buddy?
No mute. Audio.
No speak English. I can't hear you, man.
I guess, Mark, you have to use the comment function like everyone else at this point.
All right, so Mark, you could be our translator using sign language, like they have at presidential meetings and stuff like that. So you be the guy that's doing the sign language, okay? All right. So, Etienne, that's let's get back to like we were talking about the air barrier and how tight the home is,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think this isn't hard stuff, and the overall I guess vision of what your company does, SIGA, right? That you're the CEO. It's not your particular company, but I think everybody there treats it as if it's their company, which is amazing. Is to help educate. You have a product, but you spend a lot of time helping people understand the science and really educating them to understand the value of what your product does versus what's currently used in the market by a lot of other people.
Absolutely. So I think that in experience, what I've seen the last 6 years is that there are still large portions of the market here in North America that have an educational need. In various areas. First, we have to start with the why. We always have to start with the why. Why should I do anything better? Not a lot of people wake up in the morning and challenge themselves to really question, how do I do everything better, right? We are kind of creatures of habit, so we often prefer just to go with the flow. So we spend a lot of time on that initial subject. That why is different, and it can be very personal. Maybe you will want to upgrade your home because you really understand that we have a climate crisis and we have to do something. Maybe you don't even believe in that, and that's totally okay. You can believe what you want, right? But you probably care a lot about your comfort, or you maybe care about money savings, or whatever kind of floats your boat, so to say, is what we want to address. And we want to really show the market that, hey, listen, we don't have to agree on everything, but I'm sure if you give us the time to show you why a better built building is good for you, it's an investment. Houses are so expensive, materials are expensive. you want to protect that investment. You want to make
Yeah.
sure your house will be healthy and will stay in the place where you put it for decades or centuries to come. We don't want to just rebuild all the time. We want to build and enjoy, right? So I think that's an important one, the why. The next part of education is how. Right? Once people understand and they have an incentive or they see a benefit for them, it's like, okay, how do we get there? And the good news is it's not rocket science. We need a team, a dialed-in team. We need to have a shared goal that everyone understands what we want to achieve with our buildings. And then it goes down to training. And we just found, and that's nothing that only we know, but the best way of learning is by doing. And this is why we operate training centers. In these training centers, we have real size mock-ups where people can apply our products, for example, or theoretically any products. Doesn't really matter so much which product. It's a tape, so they can apply tape. And we can discuss various details and various scenarios so you can actually practice that. It's way better than if I show you once a PowerPoint and then, the next day you probably remember 10% of what we just talked about. So we just want to do it once. We want to do it sustainable. And we know if you actually do it, you will remember most of it.
So, all right. So we just recently had a awesome trip to Switzerland. Right, to the home of SIGA headquarters, and we got to go on that trip with, Ben Bogey, Jake Bruton, and so many others. And it was all about the education. And why I say this, there was an aspect in the training where they were standing on the tape to show how strong it was. Well, I want up that just yesterday, Etienne. My beach umbrella snapped in half. And guess what I used to fix it? I used the SIGA tape to fix it. I'll take pictures and send it to you. But it helped. It helped stronger than the duct tape I wrapped around it, and it had some flex to it, which was great to allow it to move when it needed to move. But the training and the education is so important. I didn't really get the whole idea of house barrier. I was your builder, right? It's only a couple nail holes. Nobody's ever going to see it. The water's going to drip through. It'll dry. But when those nail holes happen, 20, 30 times around an entire house, or 100 times probably on most homes, well, now you have the size of a baseball, and then a golf, then a football, and then a basketball. And this is real stuff. But when we went to the training, we looked at so many different things. You didn't just show us your tape. One, we have to actually go ahead and do the process of installing it. All right, good. But the amazing part was there was science behind it that we all got behind, such as drinking beer and SIGA tape goes hand in hand. I bet a lot of people didn't realize that, right? Why explain that? It's true. They didn't drink the beer. We drank the beer. But, think about, these are just some tests that we need to show people on the show even, the science behind it, because then it starts making sense.
Yeah. So, you're referring to one of the experiments that we do.
It's the best one, drinking beer.
Yeah, it was a good one. We like to demonstrate convection. Convection is basically the movement of moisture through air, right? So if you heat up air, it can carry more humid air, and that humidity can go into your walls. So we demonstrate this with a nice little beer bottle experiment. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, but you're mentioning the trip to Switzerland, and this has been super, super exciting. The purpose of trips like that is to show to builders, architects, and just industry professionals, sometimes through the lens of influencers, but then also just for their own education, how we build in Switzerland. Not with the purpose to say we are so much better or whatever, but more as it's just interesting to see how are things accomplished in other countries and how are they done, right? Happens to be a really nice country to go to, so that's an added bonus, and we have a great facility there. But that was the reason behind it.
No, it really was, and I know a couple of you out there like to drink beer, and so here I'm going to tell them so they can do it themselves, right? It's simple. Take the beer, dump it in a glass because you want the bottle to stay cold, right? And then take a coin and set it on top of the bottle, right? Just on top on the empty beer bottle that's still cold. And then just put your hands around it and hold it tight. All of a sudden, that coin on top will start bouncing. It's showing you the convection of how the heat and cold are transferring energy in the walls of our homes when you have the hot and the cold and the thermal breaks that are happening there. So, I mean, it was simple things like this that we can all use to show homeowners, show other contractors, or simply enough, bring bottled beer to the job site at the end of the day and use it to to train the trades, to show them. It'll start registering with people, right? Because we're visual when we do the trades. And so, but you guys took a really neat approach. It wasn't just a PowerPoint presentation. It was a hands-on approach, and a mouth on in that instance, but a hands-on approach. And I think that's how most of us learn in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Thanks you for that feedback. We were lucky. We have a lot of visitors on an annual basis, so we got to practice quite a bit. And soon we will really open up the gates again and have a lot more visitors going through that experience. So looking forward to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and if everybody out there just learned something about convection using beer bottles, go ahead and hit that like symbol. Hit those thumbs up. And listen, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you're wrong. Get in there and subscribe, because all of these conversations, this one and others, are all there. So if you're not watching live with us today, we're bummed not to see you, but hopefully you're watching it recorded, so we're happy to see you. So we appreciate you joining us. No matter when it is you have time to do it, we're all about building science on the BS Friday show. We are short Mark Bare Naked Willie today, but these things happen. We have we have 2 years straight of shows, and he made it on. That was the goal. He had to get on, because we haven't really missed any shows because we're always trying to bring more. All right, Etienne, what can we expect from SIGA North America this year? You have your new tape, right? Your new CLT protection, right? Mm-hmm. What do you call it? Where you can actually cover the CLT. So, I mean, that's amazing. And it's clear, it's see-through, you can see the nails, and it's skid-proof, and it keeps the water off the project. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, so, well, thanks for that plug-in. So I can give you a little bit more of a background on this. So we saw from being on various mass timber job sites that water management with mass timber buildings, in particular with cross-laminated timber, referred to as CLT, is and can be a big challenge depending on where you build your building. When I say where, I mean geographical location, and then during what period of the year. So, for example, if you build it in the very rainy Pacific Northwest, since in North America, most often we want to show this beautiful mass timber. So that means you have visible wood, wood that is exposed to water over an extended period of time will first stain, then starts to rot, and afterwards you will have even structural decay and structural challenges. So we actually realized, hey, these job sites have a challenge. And so what we have developed is a really cool product that can be either factory applied by CLT manufacturers or on site, that protects this beautiful mass timber panels from these water stains or any adverse effects of water that you have on site. And it has been an amazing success, a great journey in Europe, but also here in North America. We were able to partner with some of the biggest and most amazing companies out there, like Kalesnikov, Structure, Lamb, Nordic, Element 5. We are working with DR Johnson and all of the big boys, and many more. So sorry if I forgot you now, but many more. And it has been fantastic. And I actually was in Boston 3 weeks ago, and I was on I think it was like an 8-story mass timber building. Yeah. And I've never seen that much water. It was extremely rainy, but what was amazing is it was really dry underneath. So, you put it on each floor, basically, and you make sure the water doesn't flow through the whole building. And that allows you then to go ahead and start even finishing floors below, because you can dry them in. So quite a cool product that we are now
right distributing.
Well,
yeah. But it's not quite a cool product. It's actually a really cool product, and I know a lot of the bigger CLT manufacturers out there and builders are really clamped on to it, and I think it's important to spread the word that we have that out there. So
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure I plugged that for you. All right, Etienne. So we're looking to come back to Switzerland here in the next couple months, and to do more of a tour with SIGA and everything that we have planned over there. Can you give us a little bit of an inside what we can expect, and then we're going to wrap it up?
Yeah, of course. So, as announced publicly this week, we are going to go back to Switzerland in August. I'm really excited. We are currently putting together the program. We will focus on highlighting just important things, such as the education of craftspeople. So, we're going to go to a carpenter school so that we can show to a large North American audience, how does the Swiss carpenter education system work, right? We will see how these young carpenters are trained, and learn and hear from them directly why they chose this profession. So this is going to be one element. We're going to look at a lot of different exciting job sites. We really want to highlight as well the offsite manufacturing that is very dominant in Europe. We're going to go look at modular manufacturers. We will look at panelized manufacturers. So we're going to have a little bit of a mix. We're also going to look at mass timber. So just that we often hear about like, oh, Europe is so advanced and they're doing this and that. Well, let's go check it out. Let's just see what it is. And I often say it depends on the company, right? I have seen extremely advanced companies here in North America, and I've seen extremely advanced ones in Europe. It doesn't necessarily, you can't just put a country or continent label on it and then say how great they are. It really depends on the companies. And I'm sure, Dave, you have had the opportunities to see a lot of companies, and I hope you know what I'm talking about. And so that's really what we're going to do. We have an exciting guest list with a huge reach. So we could have potentially millions of people who will follow along this trip, and really fantastic to get the message of high performance, better building qualities out into the world.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the trip we recently had was full of amazing guests, all with millions of followers on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. So we did have a great time. All right. Well, listen, Etienne, I appreciate you taking a few moments and filling in for us today. For those of you, Monday, we have a big day Monday. We got Tom Hardiman on from, anybody can guess? Anybody know where Tom Hardiman's from? That's right. The Modular Home Builders Institute, right? We're going to be talking about World of Modular. What's coming up at World of Modular? And if I know Tom, we're going to get into codes and some other fun stuff. But we are going to talk about World of Modular and what's coming up and how you can attend and how you can come hang out with us. And then after that, we are going over to Poland. That's right. We got Christoph Dros, IQ Module. So hopefully that's still happening. Christoph and his team have been spending a lot of time helping the refugees and the humanitarian crisis that's happening coming across the border. And we've been working with them as well through Operation Triage. That's right. 100% of everything that gets donated to Operation Triage goes straight across the pond to help those in need, to buy them clothes, to buy them food, medicine, housing. It's a major crisis, and it's affecting all of us around the world. So we do appreciate any support you have there. So go to Operation Triage and check that out, and please donate. All right, Etienne, so big shows coming up. We're going to have a lot more fun. We're going to see you around. We're going to see you in Switzerland. I'm going to eat some more fondue. I love the fondue. I'm a fondue fan now, 100%. And, you know, listen, with the fondue, you get to kiss a lot. That's kind of the cool thing. Drink, kiss, fondue. That's what we learned in Switzerland. So, Etienne, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well. And no, by the way, Etienne and I weren't kissing. I just want to be clear on that, right, guys? All right. All right. Very good. Good to see you, Etienne. Stay right there. I'll come back to you after the outro. Everybody else, have a wonderful afternoon, and we will be back on track next week with BS Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.